What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Porsche Cup Mount Panorama Glass Racing. This is the first Porsche Cup video. Getting started, we are in, well, in our relative it says P6, but we're actually down closer to 20th, I think, P19. We get a good launch off the line. We're going to pick up a position here on the right. Going into the first corner now, we have a car to the left, and we get spun out. And this was not my fault. We're going to check this out real quick. I had a lot of space on the outside, and this guy right here just kind of came across the track. Blinking in and out, so he had some kind of connection issues. That might have been something, but definitely wasn't my fault. Now going into the next set of corners, we are in now P21, I'm pretty sure. This guy to our left, Roncini, a little bit of a slower driver. This is a lower rated lobby, SOF in the top left, 1300, almost 1400. But we're going to try our best to get past him. Going into this corner here, we hit the wall. A little bit of defensive driving from him for sure, maybe overly defensive. Going into the uphill section, I did notice that I was a lot quicker than him, especially through these hills. Going down this corner now, a lot quicker than him. He actually brakes. I think he just got a little bit scared. This track is very difficult. If you've never driven Mount Panorama before, you would not know. It doesn't look too bad, but especially this downhill braking section is just extremely difficult to drive. Not going for the overtake there. Don't want to do anything prematurely. Just don't want to ruin our race before it, well, as it just began. Going down into this left-hand braking section. This is one of my weaker areas on the track, I've noticed. I don't get the best run out of this corner most of the time. This time I do, but I do hit the wall. My spotter tells me I have a little bit of wheel damage, but nothing too major. Shouldn't really affect our race that much. Coming down the Conrad straight, down to corner number 20. We are going to brake a bit later than him. Oh, we hit the grass and we go way too deep. This guy ahead of us also went deep as well. So we are still behind Roncini. It says down in the bottom right that we have 13 out of 17 incident points, but for some reason it's just not accurate. No clue why. Going into corner 1 down the mountain straight. Get a decent run on Roncini here. He's kind of pulling ahead though, as he did get a little bit better of a run, so don't get too much slipstream on him here. Now braking at the 100, we do brake a lot better than him, but then again, he just gets better run than us, and we don't fully commit to that corner. I could have gone more wide there, but I didn't want to risk anything. Going to the uphill section now, he goes a little bit deep. I have a more aggressive line than him, and I'm also a bit faster than him through the uphill section. You can tell right here he's just going to lift a little bit. I mean, I do as well. I've never really taken this corner fully straight out. Similar runs out of this corner now, but here he lifts a lot more. I get way more speed than him, and I opt to go around the outside. Very dangerous, almost making contact. I take the off track, primarily just to gain the position on him, as I don't really want to be behind him for much longer, because I did feel like he was slowing me down a bit. Back down into the downhill braking section. So many corners over here. I'm looking at this corner, or this map of the track on my screen next to me while I'm recording these voice lines, and it's just like corner after corner. A little bit of oversteer there going out of that corner. Didn't brake enough. But like I said, there's so many corners on this track that I'm just not going to call out every corner number. Again, back on the Conrad straight. Not much slipstream from the guy ahead. He's about 2 seconds, but Roncini is to our right now, and he might make a move down the inside for this, and he does, although we do have similar braking. The guy up ahead just spins. Do not know what happened to him, but Roncini pulling ahead of us again. Guy to the right is Fernandez, and he drops down position behind us. Going to the last corner now. Do have a bit of outbraking against him and a much better run. There's 3 cars up ahead here, so we gained 3 positions now, crossing the line in P15. Down the first corner again. decent run, but he has a much better one than me, and he is going to have a bit more slipstream than I do. But we should keep this gap of about half a second to 0.6, 0.7 seconds. Into the second corner now, braking a lot later than both of them. And we do have a bit better of a run now going up to the uphill section, corners 3 and 4. We're going to go to the inside here, a bit of a lift to make sure we just make the corner, and we get the overtake done, nice and easy. So really good run there. This guy up ahead, a bit slow coming into the uphill. Yet again, much faster than a lot of people are on this track. He's lifting a lot to make these corners. You can go flat up here, but it's just really difficult to do so. Not here, but back of those other corners. Way quicker than him, Tensai. Going into the downhill section. Another off track, just bouncing all over the place. Really terrible racing from me there. I should have been a bit more patient in hindsight, but it's whatever, you know. One off track isn't going to kill me. But I do need to watch the incident points. Obviously, my incident tracker is wrong, so I'm not too sure what incident points I'm at right now. But it's probably around 7 or 8, just with earlier contacts and other off tracks. Going down the back straight again. Oh, never mind. Cutting to lap 4 now. We're going to have a better... It's kind of a weird line down the inside, but we get the overtake done. Kind of a bit of a mind punt on Tensai. Down the front straight now. Next gap up ahead is around 4.5 seconds, so we have a lot to make up. We do make that up through the uphill section, and we're right on the tail of these 3 people ahead. We made up a lot of ground in that uphill section. Like I said, we're just way quicker than most people in this lobby here. By no means am I fast. I think my fastest lap of this entire race by the end of it is like a low 2:08, and pros are out there putting in 2:02s and 2:03s. This was the fixed race, I'm pretty sure, so again, no setups, but what can you do? Lap 5, getting close to them, still around a similar gap, going to this uphill section. Again, one of my stronger areas of the course. We are right on the tail of this guy up ahead, 0.4 seconds. Valentini and Martins, and then one more guy ahead of them. Again, you can see just how much we're gaining on these guys here, especially Valentini, as he ends up getting a decent run through this corner, but much quicker than him, and he lets us go. Thank you, Valentini. I didn't want to fight with him down this downhill section. Kind of a little stalemate there between us, as didn't really know who was going to back out, and he thankfully did. So took the opportunity while I could. Lap 6 now, going into corner 2. Bit quicker of a run. This guy's blinking in and out again, and just... I think this... Oh, you know what? This is the guy that I think hit us at the very start of the race, if I'm not mistaken. Going into the uphill. A little bit of oversteer there. Nothing too bad. That might be from the wheel damage we have, or we got earlier in the race. But we are pulling really close to this guy now, about 0.4 seconds. Going to this left-hander here. He does go a bit slower than us, and he just goes way too wide, goes off track, and thankfully we pick up that position. So now we are in P9, which is really good, especially for one of my first weeks of the Porsche Cup in general. This is one of my first ever times really competing for, you know, top 10 places in any Porsche Cup. But this was definitely a good race for me to practice my racecraft, especially at the beginning. Just fighting for the positions and learning when to take advantage of certain parts of the track, when to back up in case of any cautions, of just anything that could be stupid. I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing that. So no premature overtakes, and learning when to overtake has been a lot of my focus. Almost hitting the wall there. One of my worst runs in the these hills, the hills area up here. Martins is about 1.2 ahead, but we are gaining on him slowly but surely. Down this downhill area, gaining on him, but this downhill braking section was not one of my strong suits, as you guys can probably tell. He does gain a bit on me. and especially this corner back there, number 18. Going into the uphill again, we are now on lap 8. Martin's has a similar gap again, still about 1.5 seconds, and we spin and hit the wall. Front end damage. The gap's gonna grow up ahead. We do have a little bit of wheel damage as well. Kind of stupid, just this area is so unstable with these cars not having low ABS and TC is just very hard to drive these cars, especially around a track that's as difficult as this one. Nothing too major, just a little bit of body damage and wheel damage. So over the course of, well, now we're on lap 12, so we skipped forward ahead just a bit. But we are now P8, and Martin's up ahead spun. We lift a little bit to make sure we can get past him. Thankfully, we do so. And that is another position. So now we are technically up into P7 on lap 12, which is really good for, you know, one of my first races in the Porsche Cup. Going to this downhill, we have back markers up ahead. And crossing the line for the final lap, we actually get promoted into P6. I'm really not sure how that happened, because I never saw 6th position. But anyways, crossing the line on the final lap for a P6. All right, now we are on the second race. Hold on, someone's at the door. Who is it? What's going on, man? Oh, what? It's a box. What is this? What? It's Void Energy! This is the first energy drink designed for creatives by creatives. With 10 calories, 0 sugar, and 150 milligrams of caffeine, it's the perfect way to get your mind into the creative mindset. It tastes like very fruity with a nice tangy aftertaste. I would say it's almost a better Red Bull. Also, I'm an ambassador. If you use the link in the description, you can get 15% off, and I get a 10% cut of your purchase. So it helps me and it helps you, whether you're filming or editing or me when I'm racing. This is the perfect way to get your head in the right headspace. I'm not sponsored, but I do genuinely like this product. If you want Void, click the link in the description to get 15% off your order. Wow, thanks for that insight, Peyton. All right, race 2, almost jumping the start there. We're hoping for a good launch, and we get a great one, green flag, and we get, what's that, 2 positions off of the line. So really great start from us. Going into the first corner now, one guy goes deep and up ahead. We take on the inside, up ahead. One guy goes off track, 2 people go off track. Let's take a look back at that. This guy, number 7, goes into the corner, too shallow, gets hit behind, and comes across the track and hits him. Number 6, Ferner, gets the rough end of the stick, and just terrible for him. Back on board with us, going into the first corners. On the outside, we have Gem, I think is how you say it. But lovely overtake on the outside by him. Just great moves. Can we appreciate this livery, by the way, that I have? Anyways, he goes into the corner, spins, and I just smash into the back of him. Don't know why I did that. Take a look at that from the outside. Definitely should have lifted. A little bit of body damage, nothing too bad. I think I really just wanted to not get in a wreck. Another incident here. This is the same guy that was going slow through the first couple corners. Let's go on board with him now. Doesn't look too bad, but he just gets a snap of oversteer going over that curb, and there we are, passing him. Now back on board with us, going into the last corner to go on to lap 2. We have a guy spin out up ahead, so we are crossing the line now in P3. Kind of a Luigi does nothing and wins type situation. Long on the outside of us. We don't let him go through. Good defense by us, I must say, if I'm being, you know, not very humble. But we go deep, and I just screw up my driving, and he gets past us. So a little bit of karma for us there. But, you know, we take that. Going to the uphill. Not a great run, but it is what it is. A little smoke. nothing too major happened this race, honestly. So, crossing the lap, or the line. Oh, a little bit of oversteer. This guy ahead of us just parked there, and we finish in P3 for our second race. Nothing interesting happened this race, so sorry I didn't get to go over it that much, but there just wasn't anything to go over. We finished in P3 with a 0.14 safety rating and plus 80 iRating. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and watch the other video on screen because YouTube thinks you will like it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.